Live. G'day everyone. Tonight what we're talking about is businesses that failed and businesses that have prospered. And fortunately, on the coalface as real estate agents, we're seeing a lot of business with all of the tenants that we have looking after. The lovely Lisa Novak. How are you, Lise?
Hey guys, good. Nice busy start to the week.
Busy,
Yeah.
hey? It's a busy time.
It is a really, really busy time. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Lots of buyers, lots of listings, lots of phone calls. It's been full on actually. I feel like I've had a week's worth of work already. It's good.
Are we back to the good old days?
Yes. So it's funny that you. Yeah, look, I think we're back to where the market was, and it's happened quite suddenly. We're back to where the market was before the market picked up. Yeah, so I think we're there.
So in terms of activity, where do you reckon we are? We're not back to how far it was 12 weeks ago.
No, so properties, so going back 12 weeks ago, we simply could not list stock fast enough. We'd list it and it would fly out the door 24 to 48 hours, huge prices, and we just could not get our hands on enough stock. Now what we're seeing is vendors need to be super realistic about their pricing. Property is still moving. I mean, Angelo, one of our sales guys, did 3 deals over the weekend. They're big numbers. Yep. They're big numbers. We did a deal today. We've got a number of offers on the table, but the stock that's moving is the stock that, where vendors are being super realistic about pricing. I'm categorizing my vendors, Mark. I'm putting half my vendors into, does it come down to time? Because if you need to sell fast, it's got to be a pricing structure. And if you've got time to wait and you just want to hold out for the price, then it's obviously just going to take time. It's going to, we're going to be on the market for a little bit longer.
Well, that's with sellers. We've always said that, haven't we, with sellers, that what's more important to you, time or price? And depending on which one you choose is depending on how you act in the moment with selling your property.
100%. But it's funny, we're talking tonight, right, about businesses that have failed and businesses that have prospered during COVID-19. In some ways, I actually feel like we've gone back to the 1970s. And not that I remember a whole lot about it because I'm way too young, but way too young. I feel like we've gone back to the good old days, haven't we, in many respects, with the way we're ordering food, takeaway, delivered to your door, good old-fashioned restaurants are back to doing takeaway.
Well, look, there's as we were saying just off air before, there's 2 ways that we can segment this. One is the businesses that how they've pivoted, and that seems to be a big word at the moment. And then another thing is that going to be sustainable, and is that going to be the way of the future? 2 really interesting things. But I think in terms of format, it's really interesting that we've got a good bird's eye view across the marketplace, because anyone, I guess we're sort of a bit deep with financial with people. So people sort of have to tell us how they are going financially. They're not going to tell a friend. Yeah. But they will tell their real estate agent. They will say, I'm from this industry and this is what's happening, or this is what we're doing. We're generally hearing, I guess, the hardship that's out there. There's good what I say, good genuine, is there a real genuine hardship that's going on out there? Which industries, Lise, are you hearing it from at the moment?
In terms of hardship?
Yeah.
I think there's a real mix. So some businesses simply just shut down too early. I don't think, unfortunately, here in Australia, things have not been quite as bad as what we all anticipated, right? We were staring into a big dark hole 4 to 6 weeks ago. Everyone was bracing for the worst because it seriously sounded like, it was going to be just hell. And I think a lot of businesses at that stage shut the gates.
So I think just to remind you and I was on a bike in Thailand up until the 15th of March. And that week you were telling me every day that I was in a bubble. So it literally hit that week that I got back. So it's really only been about 4 weeks. What a change.
I know. Can you believe it? It feels like we literally have lived I saw a meme the other day, and it said something about, oh, April has had, 1,500 days in it. That's exactly how it feels.
Yep.
It's like you get to the end of the week, and we're high energy people, right? And you get to the end of the week and you're like, oh my God, I've run a marathon. It's been crazy. But just getting back to those businesses. So some businesses shut down too early. Now, that's not me saying that. As you said, Mark, we speak to a lot of people from all walks of life. And I've had many people admit, yeah, I think we shut down too early. We've been in isolation. In reality, we could have stayed open another few weeks.
Well, these are businesses that did not have directives from the government to make a move. So they preempted what they should do in this environment. So you're saying they did it too early. So they were made to shut down, but they did a couple, or they weren't made to shut down.
Yeah. And that's including some real estate offices as well. So we are allowed to stay open. We are allowed to operate. We're deemed an essential service. Yeah. There's some real estate offices, as you know, we're in touch with some principals, and they've agreed that they potentially shut down too early. Because the thing is, now that we're into it, and thank goodness things aren't as bad as what we all anticipated they could be, you can't come back now. So you can't say, all right, guys, it wasn't as bad as what we thought. So just come back to work and let's just get into it again.
Well, you're the bad guy if you're reopening and we haven't really got over the hump yet. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of, I guess. But I think also what's important is I don't think our industry, and let's just talk about businesses that have failed or businesses that have prospered. I don't think our industry, I certainly didn't realize what a big importance a real estate agency had to play through this environment, because we're protecting clients' assets. Now, if we were protecting those clients' assets and not together as a team, we could not, it would have been impossible to do that as effectively as we had. I'm really proud of our residential tenants, commercial tenants, and how they've been doing business, like everyone's and also our property management team. I think it's been very, very interesting because, like you said, I think if we chose to work remotely and we had 20, 30 agents, 40 agents that are all scattered all in their homes, we wouldn't have had that team camaraderie, morale. And again, we're just reminding everyone we are an essential service. So to have all those thousands and thousands of conversations, I think real estate, I think particularly agents, they're the ones that are stuck together. I think they've done very well with protecting owners' assets. What other businesses have prospered in COVID?
So I think businesses that went into lockdown unprepared. Now, that may sound like a really silly statement because we never knew. It wasn't like we had a date in our diary when COVID-19 was going to happen, right? We were all unprepared to a certain extent, or were we? Because we've had so many people contact us about our social media and the innovative way that we've always run our business. And it certainly didn't take a pandemic for us to be able to pivot quickly. We're a business model that always sort of thought, ahead, because we always wanted to just be ahead and pioneer. And you're a bit of a crazy mad scientist and tech freak, which is amazing, because it's meant that within our own business model, not a whole lot changed. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we had to all of a sudden get our head around technology or social media or Zoom meetings, or we've been doing it for years. So I think when I say businesses that went into lockdown unprepared, I mean, they'd never done social media before. They'd never used technology, 360-degree camera, Zoom. Can you imagine, Mark, trying to get your head around all of this quickly? It's taken us 2 years to work this stuff out, and all of a sudden you got to work it out in 2 weeks.
And I think it's in business, in some parts of business, it's actually okay to be lazy. Lazy versus efficient is really interesting.
Yeah.
So allow me to give you an example. I think holding interstate business meetings now on Zoom is a necessity. And I've got a funny feeling coming out of COVID that those interstate meetings or those international meetings, a lot of them are going to be held on Zoom, because the older crowd are just happy with it to be done that way because it worked through COVID. So I think that.
But Mark, you said it yourself. Are those office are those office blocks going to be half empty when we come out of COVID? Because I think that what we might find is that a lot of people are like, hang on a second, I didn't realize I could do all this from home, and I'm just as efficient, and I don't need to travel into the office, and I don't need to waste 2 hours of traveling time. I don't need to hop on a plane and go to Melbourne. We can just do these Zoom meetings. I actually reckon there's been a lot of companies that have been asking questions about managers that are jumping on flights, travel, hotels.
Unnecessary. Do you like
unnecessary?
Or is it necessary? Hey, you know what I wouldn't mind asking our viewers? I'd love our viewers to name businesses that have absolutely prospered. Some may be obvious to our viewers, but just name it in your comments. I'd love some help on this. The reason why, at least, you know the reason why? I'm meeting a lot of business owners that are ashamed, and I'm not asking these business owners to nominate themselves. I'm just saying nominate for a business. But they're ashamed to actually say that they're doing better, okay, or well in these hard times. But I can assure you, everyone, that there is a lot of pain out there, but there's a lot of joy that people don't want to express because it's not the right time. So I'd love to know of industries that people know that are actually doing well. Some that come to mind with me, the local coffee shop. It's the legal outing to grab a coffee 2 or 3 times a day if you're locked up at home. Local coffee shops that are at the top of their game, I'd suggest they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and it's funny because, well, there's a number of businesses that have thrived. Sorry, let's just go back to the businesses that have not thrived, and that have not thrived. Let's just finish up there. Pivot. That's a word that is used. So I reckon that's got to be the word of 2020. You know, companies that weren't able to pivot, and pivot means weren't able to actually do a very sharp 180. All right, because a lot of us are stuck in that Groundhog Day, where, you know, we're just doing things because it's how it was always done. And what do we need to do social media for? And, you know, I mean, you know, Mark, the amount of people that have contacted us about our social media and technology that we've been using. A lot of companies just simply cannot pivot, either because they just can't get their head around technology, or they just don't have the model for it. Like, I know there's a lot of these, and budget and time.
They don't have the time. They don't have to do it. Hey, can I quickly mention, g'day to Adita Nassif. Miss you, Deets. Deets was, we worked together for a couple of years. Margaret Matthews, g'day. Zoe Irvine, Adil, Paul, g'day, buddy. Angie, a legend. Love contacting you. Seb has been a big supporter. Thank you. Michael Berger, Unma, Rob Brady, g'day to everyone out there. And I'd love you guys to nominate any businesses that you know are doing well. Sorry,
definitely. But, you know, some of the businesses that I think have failed, and I don't want to name names because it's just not right and it's not professional, but I know that there's been times over the years, Mark, when we've tried to book a nice restaurant, and you'll call up that nice restaurant and say, hey, we're just wondering, can we get a table of 6 for tomorrow night at 8 o'clock? Have you got a booking? No. You don't have a booking.
The wanky restaurant.
No.
The wanky restaurant.
Well,
that's a lot of pain in wanky restaurants because they
100%.
Well, how do you pivot on that wank? It's hard, you know. If you're doing a $50 main, there's nobody that's going to buy a $50 main and order it at home.
Mark, who can afford to at the moment? Do you know what I mean? And even if you can, you just feel guilty because of it. So, you know, a lot of these restaurants, and then there's a lot of the fancy pubs and bars, and they're like, come and, you know, collect your cocktail or we'll home deliver. So it's like,
I think Justin has had a bit of a hard time, Lise. He's had a lot of exposure out there with employees, and a very, very good at top of the game business owner. I think that type of model has found it hard to pivot.
Well, that's it, exactly. And, you know, pivot on what? And so these guys are the icons of you know, certainly the hospitality industry, but of our country as well. So hopefully, I'm sure they're going to come out of it okay, and I'm sure they'll get the support. But are they going to come out different?
Poker machine revenue.
Are they going to come out different people? Oh, pokies. Imagine the pokies.
Poker machine, biggest taxpayer in Australia. The biggest taxpayer in Australia. I think the casino is the single biggest. Star City is the single biggest taxpayer in Australia. Zero revenue for our government.
right? I mean, yeah, it is quite incredible. Office supplies, obviously.
Local IGAs pumping it.
Oh God, yeah. What about the local store? Isn't it funny? Like now, I was in my car the other day, and there was this Coles delivery truck, and he was coming down the street that I was coming out of. It was a narrow street, and I sort of waved at him, and not in a snobby way, because I'm not a snobby person at all. But there's a newfound respect there. I'm like, man, you got the best job. You've got a rock solid job. Respect to you. You know, it's like this newfound respect.
I've got a mate of mine in Bread who will not be named. Tells me about the depot, the Woolies delivery depot in Ringa Mall is doing 2 to 3 times more bread than over the Christmas period in a typical week.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So
are we eating more bread?
No, I was just about to say that. It's interesting because we had wholesale or bread, and then we had retail bread. And I think a lot of our consumption was in maybe breakfast, lunch, or dinner in restaurants, which is wholesale bread, the big bakers, and then the retail bread, like the little guy, the guys that ordering it from Woolies and eating it at home, they just went through the roof. So I think wholesale bread went down, retail bread went up. There's an example of some other.
What about if you're an IT guy or an internet company? I think didn't we just get a message today on our phone saying that we've almost used up all of our internet use? I was like, what the hell? Yeah, and we're on a whopper package. The obvious ones, guys, like toilet paper, sanitizer. Yes, we know that. What about Blackmores, vitamin companies?
Local barbers I've been talking to very well. People, they're loving it. They're lapping it up.
Yeah, well, you can still go out and get a haircut.
Office or furniture suppliers, very good.
Yes.
Very, very, very good. Doing well. Amazon, very good.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. Hair color and nail polish.
At home hair color and at home nail polish through the roof. Delivery companies have increased, so the online data is saying. So I think that another one is doing well through COVID is couriers.
Without a doubt, and Australia Post. But guys, can I just say, and I'm definitely not putting down any companies, but I'm just more saying this so that you can support your local community. I believe that companies like Deliveroo are taking 30 to 40% of profits when you order through them. Great, amazing. 100%. Like, where are we ever able to have food at our door in 10 minutes? Like, and this is by no means putting any company down, but I'm just suggesting that where possible, you can actually ring a restaurant, and most of them are home delivering now. So we did that the other night, Mark. We home delivered from a local restaurant, and the owner of the restaurant came and delivered the food.
You know what? I want these restaurants back. I want them post-COVID. I don't want these guys disheveled or disheartened, and I don't want them to give up. So if that means that I can give them an extra 40% or 30% just by ringing them direct rather than ordering online through the app, I'm going to do it. And I think a lot of people are already.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Okay, what else have we got? So this is another interesting thing. So some of these...
Ange Lagogianis says...
Mark keeps cutting me off tonight.
Bottle shops, BWS.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I can seriously... I'm not even a big drinker, and I've been drinking like almost every single night. We've been having a drink every night. What else is there to do? Sit outside and you have a nice drink, but definitely without a doubt. They reckon alcohol consumption's up 70%. 70%. Oh, it's true. That's a stat. It's true. The other thing that's interesting is while so many of these businesses have pivoted and been innovative, what's going to happen when we get over the bridge? Is that innovation going to last? So all of a sudden, you know, Mr. Wong's is doing home delivery, and you can get like some beautiful fancy meal delivered to your home. But are they going to be doing that, or is it everyone's just going to like drop it like a bomb?
It's like that.
But it's true. Like, are they going to continue? Because there's some bloody brilliant ideas that have come out as a result of this. Like, some companies, I just think, oh my God, that's genius. Why weren't you doing it before?
Hey, just quietly, some people call it pain, but I've actually enjoyed some of it. Like
Yeah.
having like Aussie Easter, because there was an Orthodox Easter last Sunday, and then there was
Yesterday.
Easter the week before yesterday. There was Easter the week before. I actually really enjoyed being boxed in my home with my family. I loved it. And I was talking to a client today, and they just laughed because on the weekend they're watching people drive past, and it's like teenager, mum and dad all sitting in the one car. You never saw that stuff.
Oh my God, isn't that the truth? And that's what I'm saying. We've gone back to the 1970s. We have. Because if you look at real estate, Mark, we're doing the one-on-one buyer appointments.
Yeah.
Like that's how your dad used to do it when he was in real estate. What do you mean you had an open home and 20 people came and you couldn't talk to anyone? What did they call it? Central locking inspections. You get people in your car, or not that we can put them in our car at the moment, but you lock them in and drive them around until you find them a property.
Lee Woodward calls it central locking showing. So yeah, they jump in your car and you push the central locking and it locks them all in. You drive around. It's a funny, but it's a different world. They're businesses that we're seeing that are doing well. They don't want to admit it because it's not the time to admit it. But I have said, Lisa, and I said it from the beginning, the energy doesn't get burnt or buried. The energy has simply transferred. So where you've seen the energy come out of in the marketplace, in e-commerce, in business, I think the energy has gone into different parts. Some of that energy has gone into people's savings accounts. They've just saved the money that they normally spend. Some of it they've taken elsewhere and spent on different things. But definitely post-Easter, I felt there was a whole new fresh blood in the marketplace where people like, heck with being locked in at home. We want to get stuff done, still respecting COVID rules, but I've noticed stuff's getting done a lot more since last Tuesday.
I agree. More cars on the road. And look, Queensland today reported 0 corona cases.
Really?
Sorry, let me repeat that. 0 new corona cases today. 0 new corona cases. So that's super positive.
Apparently, there's more lottery winners than people that had contracted COVID, so died from it. But apparently it's a rare number. Something that I want to underpin that I heard the other day was if we wanted to stop deaths over on the road with people driving, we should just turn the 60-kilometre speed limit to 5 kilometres an hour and nobody would die on the road. There is a practicality to what we're doing, and there is a necessity to get back to our business and business in general, because we have been travelling 5 kilometres an hour for 4 weeks now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, I think we're all going to come out of this having learned a lot. I think everyone will be changed people as a result of it. It's going to be very, very interesting times, that's for sure. But I'm going to be interested to see those businesses that have innovated and have really made drastic changes. Are they going to continue to do that, or are they just going to go straight back to their, like, literally, if the government came out tomorrow and said, okay, that's it, it's over now, get back to life as normal, are they going to be doing that? Is that your sock?
Yeah.
Why?
Michael Edwards just brought something up really good. Agents, there are no more agents in the place that don't wear socks.
Oh my God, it's so true. Does the cream rise to the top or not? That's for sure.
Those fancy pants real estate agents, where are they now?
I agree. And not only that, can I say something? That even if you weren't active on your social media before, surely now would have been the time to do it. If not for anything else, except to actually help people. People will never forget the way you make them feel during these times.
Yes.
So there's certain people that stand out to me throughout this whole process. And most of them are real estate related, because we've been looking for the information and the knowledge. Tom Panos has been phenomenal. And look, he's had, he mentioned the other night when we had him on how many conferences he had cancelled, making no money out of this.
He's been there for the agents. Now, the agents have to be there for their landlords, their tenants, their buyers, their sellers. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 100%. You know, and our staff have been phenomenal. I mean, those guys, what did you call the property managers, Mark? You said they're going into the hurt room, HURT.
Oh, look, I find it
It's
even awkward to repeat, Lise, but you know, it is that property management office is the hurt room. It is, these guys are punching bags for tenants and landlords all day long. I know they get paid for it, but geez, it's been a lot of punches thrown in the last.
Oh my God. And if it's not punches, Mark, it's sad stories, like people on the phone crying. They don't know how they're going to feed children. And, you know, like that's hard for anyone to hear.
Some genuine. Unfortunately for the non-genuine, it's harder to cut through and help.
But my point is, and we've had a lot of emails coming through from landlords and tenants, like thanking our property managers for the way they've handled things with such compassion and knowledge and professionalism. But the reality of it is people will never forget the way you make them feel throughout these times. So if you're an agent or if you're a business owner or whatever you are, an employee or an employer, and you haven't done things that are going to be memorable, people will remember that. They won't forget the way you did or didn't make them feel. I think that's critical.
So Victoria's saying, I'm hoping agents have compassion. Paul, good day to you.
Hey guys.
Don't mean bags to the real estate agent. Don't mention bags to real estate agents, briefcases, and what else we got? Toilet paper suits. Toilet paper suits are on sale for real estate agents. But it's interesting, hey, Les, guys. It's I guess part of tonight was just to talk about what's on our mind, what we're noticing out there, and the good news is that we're starting to realise there's a lot of people that are actually doing a little bit better, and there's a lot of people that are doing a little bit less better. But I think we've got to acknowledge both, respect both, and I don't fear as much as I did 3 weeks ago, because all I heard was the pain and the stories of business and industries. Yeah. And then the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to hear the better stories coming out, and that's really a lot of hope that we wanted to sell to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not too late either. You know, I think there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't know if I don't know how to, haven't started to do the social media now or whatever it might be, innovate, pivot, whatever you want to call it. It's not too late. It's not too late. You know, it's not too late if you start in a year.
Look how old you are. I think, like, you know what I mean, with social media. Like you're 30.
Yeah. You're going to be in trouble for that later. Big trouble. All right, guys. Anything else we need to cover?
5 years older than me.
On that note, it's almost my bedtime. Just because I'm so old. No,
guys,
I'm joking.
Love you. Hopefully we're helping you. Hopefully we're helping you out with everything that we've been doing. Certainly, thank you for your messages of support. But sometimes we do feel like we're crazy, particularly me. So it's been a really, really interesting time in the marketplace. And I did a little pledge and a thank you to our crew last week. Hand on my heart, you know, legends, our landlords. You know, there've been some terrific landlords there with big hearts, and then some terrific tenants as well. So, but I you know what else, Elise, I feel it's settled. I feel that the panic has settled, and there's this new norm that we're sitting in now, which is not a bad place to be.
Yeah, well, we just know what we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
That's the difference, okay? Because 4 weeks ago, looking into the dark tunnel, no one actually knew what we didn't know what we were heading into. It was day by day by day, right? And every day we were like holding on, looking, holding on, looking, holding on, looking. And now it's like, okay, we're doing it. I met up, I was chatting with a girlfriend last night, and she said to me, I just can't do this anymore. I don't know how we're going to get through this. And I said, what do you mean? We are getting through it. And we are. That's the reality of it. We are through it. And I feel like we're 3/4 through it.
Look, guys, the fact is it's only going to get better. We know that now. Now, when there was 2 million jobs lost in a week, at the beginning of COVID, the workforce went from 12 million down to 10 million. That was scary times.
But Mark, guess what's going to happen? Again, if the government called it today and said, okay, restaurants can start to open again, well, all of a sudden unemployment drops because those
stop wearing socks again.
Maybe because I can't afford them anymore. But,
Awesome.
that's the reality of it, is that, the restaurants will open, the bars will open. They need to fill those, that they need staff. They need to staff it. So anyway, interesting times. We are getting through it. Well done. I'm super proud of our country and how everyone's conducted themselves. I think we've done it in a relaxed way. I don't think that anyone's gotten overly hysterical. You see some of these countries and how people have reacted. And I think, we've done a phenomenal job. The hospitals, the government, everybody, our staff, our families, our friends, like everyone's just been super supportive of one another. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Anything else?
Amal says, very true. It's becoming the new norm, that we're sort of on our way out. Like, hallelujah. Thank you. And Victoria's saying that there's a lot of stuff, admin stuff that was identified where we were concentrating on stuff that was not necessary. So, man, I'm not trying to sell hope or positiveness or anything, but I can certainly see where we have become better out of this. And yeah, you're right, absolutely. Where it's, I think the pain's only going to get easier now for most.
We all took a big magnifying glass and we had a good look right across our lives. That's what we did.
What's essential.
That's what we did. Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. We hope we've helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, Lisa,
and he'll be home soon, so I'll let him know that you said hi.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.
Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.
See ya.